It was the first day of summer vacation, and I woke to the sound of birds chirping instead of a beeping alarm clock. I pushed the covers off of me as old stuffed animals tumbled to the floor. I picked up my overstuffed rabbit that I was far too old to admit to keeping, and a teddy bear that seemed Victorian. I placed them back on my bed and stretched the sleep out of my body. My room is small, and I try to change it with each passing year to keep up with my ever-changing moods and interests. Yet my mother always seemed to sneak in her favorite pattern of flowers into something. This year it happened to be my wallpaper. Black wallpaper because black was cool, but it was vined with a hideous floral print. She figured it would make both of us happy. I climbed onto my bed, standing level at my windows, and opened them up. A rush of fresh summer morning air blew in, and I closed my eyes, inhaling the moment. I jumped down and threw on the first summer-styled outfit I could find, a purple tank top and some light denim shorts. I could hear my mom in the kitchen. She was always up before the sun, but my brother seemed to still be sleeping, and Dad had gone off to work. I half ran up the stairs. The smell of coffee began to fill my senses. Good morning, Paige. You're up early for a no-school day. Mom was bustling in the kitchen, already busy at baking something amazing. Flour painted her clothing, and a hot mug of coffee sat beside her mess of goods on the counter. Guess I'm used to waking up early from school still. I meandered over to the fridge and pulled out the orange juice, drinking it right from the jug. Mom gave me a disapproving look but said nothing. I put it back, closing the fridge, and walked out of the kitchen. Our house was old, and I had lived in it basically my whole life, moving here when I was 2. And since the next month is my birthday, that makes it about 14 years in this house. I knew the house inside and out. I could run through it with my eyes closed. There was nothing too special about it, but it was quiet and homey. Mom thought she was Martha Stewart, so every room had a color scheme, usually earth tones and soft blues and tans. Leave the door open when you go out. That breeze is so nice this morning. Mom already knew where I was headed. Every moment I had, I spent it exploring the outdoors. I felt more connected and happy there than I did playing with my brothers. I ignored her comment, but she knew I heard her. I walked past my shoes and out onto the front deck. The wood was still a little cool from the crisp night, but the air was warm. I jumped past all 3 steps and landed light on my bare feet at the bottom in the dirt. We lived near the bottom of a mountain way up north in Vermont. You couldn't see anything around us except a narrow dirt road. Everything else was just trees for as far as you could see. A large garden in front of the house full of herbs, flowers, and vegetables, and maple trees filled any large gap with full, bright green branches. This was going to be my last summer in this house. Dad was relocating to Mexico, and as much as I loved the idea of summer all the time, I knew I was going to miss this. I closed my eyes and let my senses take over. As sunlight danced across my face, it was warm and perfect. I dug my toes into the dirt and listened to endless songs of birds. For a 16-year-old girl on a summer vacation, you'd think I'd be out celebrating with friends at the mall. But I was the black sheep of the family and of my school, too. I confided more to the trees than I did to any living, breathing human. Maybe I was just weird, but it felt more natural than anything else. I began walking deep into the woods, walking so softly that I was nearly impossible to hear. I danced flawlessly onto mossy rocks and between dry branches on the ground, moving my feet so fast that it seemed the earth just opened up for me to move effortlessly into the heart of the forest. I passed pine trees, maple trees, oak trees, and birch trees, bushels of ferns as tall as me, and wild berry bushes. I continued until the house drowned out behind me and disappeared, and then I just kept going. A small yet steep hill grew in front of me, and I climbed it just as quickly as if it was flat ground. When I reached the top, there was a small clearing just large enough for me to lay down in it. The opening looked out over the mountainside and down into the valleys and farmlands. This was my peaceful spot. My spot that no one else knew of, completely untouched by man. I laid down on the moss-covered rock that was exactly my size, and my favorite birch trees guarded the edges of this secret space.